Welcome back to Soapdish. Hi, Luann. How are you?
Hi, Mark. Hey, I'm doing great today. It's been a long time since we've talked.
Yep. Yep. We had to get you off vacation, and you know,
Yeah.
uh,
Get me
our
back.
schedule,
Get,
our retirement schedules are quite busy, Luann.
yes, they are. Had to get me back home from Canada and Boston, and had
The
a
world
great time.
traveler.
And yes, and I had my to-do list when I got home. I had 2.5, 3 weeks of soaps to catch up on,
Wow. Did you
and
get
I
caught up on
and I
everything? Because you do Bold and
I
Beautiful and Young and
yeah.
Restless.
Yes, thank God for DVRs and that you could fast forward through some of the boring parts.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's talk serious Young and Restless here.
Yes.
Uh, the Abbott family. Let's start out with them. So
Okay.
Jill returned, I think yesterday, but today there was
Mm-hmm.
more on it. Uh, she's coming back to deal with the whole Genoa City and her feuding sons, Chance
Yes.
and Billy.
Kane. Kane.
Or
Kane and
Kane,
Billy.
sorry. Not Chance,
Mm-hmm.
sorry. Billy. Chance popped into my head. Uh,
Yes.
so that's going to get interesting. It's kind of fun to see
Yes.
Jill back and not on just on video remotely.
Oh, I know. And it's always good to have Jill, in person because, like you said, she's been doing Zoom calls with everyone and, kind of voicing her concerns with Billy, via Zooms with, while she was talking with Sally. And so today, when she, popped in and Billy was just on her case right away. And he even brought her to tears. And I thought, geez, Billy, but he came right out and said, you wronged me. You sold Chancellor away from me and gave it to, sold it to Victor and you'll never get it back. And he said, and Cain is your surrogate son and you're better to him than you are to your own son. And, it's hard not to argue that. And Billy is just on a rampage, lately.
It's kind of
It's,
funny because back in the day, when Billy first came on the show, I wasn't necessarily a big fan of this Billy.
mm-hmm,
But boy, the
mm-hmm.
longer I've really kind of learned to like him in that character.
Yes, he's doing a very good job with the character, especially you feel for him sometimes, and then you just go, Billy, you don't get your act together,
Yeah,
and even Kane called him Billy Boy today when he was talking with him and Jill, and I thought, oh, he caught that from Victor, I guess,
yeah,
but last week's episodes when I was catching up, especially with Billy and Sally. I felt bad for Sally, and I was very impressed how she handled Billy.
hmm
Sally's really come around,
I
and
agree.
she's learned how to deal with Billy and to say it the way it is with him.
Right,
And he can't argue with her. But last week, at one point he was joining forces with Kane. Then he was going to lose Sally. Didn't want to lose Sally, so then he did go with with Kane. Then he's going back to Jack to ask for money. And to Jack's credit, he's saying, "No, Billy, that deal is off the table now." And then Billy is grasping at straws again. How am I going to get this back? And how am I going to do this? Because I want this for Sally. And I
right.
give Sally credit. She's taking matters into her own hands. And she went directly to the boss lady, to Jill. and I was impressed with that. But
Yeah, me
but
too.
getting
I agree.
yes, but getting back to Billy, it'll be interesting to see how when he has some more time with Jill while she's home to see if they can reconcile their differences together and you know have a good relationship again because I know Jill wants that, but she's
Yeah,
frustrated with him. He frustrates her all the time.
right. Yeah. No,
Hmm.
he does. That's right. All right. So Kane's being, obviously quite manipulative with this. It supposedly it all surrounds around this AI program that he's
Yes, yes.
developed. Um, I'm starting to wonder. It'll be interesting, Luann. I'm not 100% sure that this thing even exists. It'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He could
It's
be
kind of
pulling the
like
world's best bluff here too.
that's what I'm wondering. And and in today's episode, when Jill was talking with him too, I was seeing a different side of Kane, where he said this, he's like, I got, am I just the bad parts of Kane, Ashby, Dumas, and my father's son? He said, am I just the bad parts of that? Because I really don't want to do this anymore. I want to have some peace in my life. And so there's a part of me that I think somebody, just if it's Jill or who it will be, to talk to him and say, well, what do you, maybe you don't really have something planned. And Jack was kind of alluding to that today
I
too. He's
know.
like,
Yeah.
maybe,
Right.
maybe he's just, throwing empty threats out there, and there's really nothing that he's planning to do. Because, like Kane said, I've always been like the outsider. Nobody really took me serious. And I think he wants to be taken serious. And he's realized the price he's paid by losing Lily. And now he's alienated his children. And he's realizing how important that is to him. And I think he wants to come clean and turn the page on this past. So it'll be interesting to see, but it's still about money and so power. So we'll see what Kane decides.
Yeah.
Because when you're talking money and power, that's a little you could get addicted to it, and Kane
For
could
sure.
get
Yeah,
addicted to
for
it.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in a rare move, this is going to be interesting to see where this goes. Uh,
Yeah,
Victor, Jack, and Victor may team up
I
to
know.
go after Kane. I thought today's scene was interesting when Victor had gone over to the Abbott household mansion, and then Billy came home while those two were talking. I love Jack, or I love Victor's response. He's
I
like,
know.
oh, yeah, okay. And then he gets a smirk on his face.
Yeah, because Billy's like, "What the heck is going on
Yeah,
here?
here.
What are you two planning?" And once they heard that Jill was there, that Jill had already gone over to Kane's,
Yeah.
and Billy was there. He observed it all. Then Victor wasn't so sure. Do we want this partnership between him and Jack? And he really did not want Billy Boy to be part of this. But then they decided, let's divide and conquer. So it'll be interesting. Will they all come back together, or will they now go their separate ways to figure out how to take Kane down, or to figure out what Kane is up to?
I think what Victor's going to do is he will, in his process of trying to take Kane down, he will also be trying to take Jack and Billy down.
Yes, at the same time.
That's part of it.
Because
Yeah.
because he still wants to take Billy down, and Jack had to kind of stop him. It's like, just I know. Yeah, and I think that's why Victor is kind of going off on his own. It's like, no, I still want Abbott to go down also. I agree with you.
Right. And the fact that Billy now is thinking about teaming up. If Victor was tempted to go that route, that just killed it right there.
Exactly.
To team up
I know.
together, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So let's talk about Claire next.
Yes.
So Claire breaks up with Kyle. I hate to admit this, Luann, but I'm a little disturbed by the storyline. I like Claire and Kyle together.
Yes.
And I don't like
Yes.
this character, what's his name?
Holden?
The other guy.
Holden?
Holden. No,
Holden.
not a fan.
I know.
Because I think
No.
Kyle's kind of a hot dog, cocky dude, but he's right
Yes.
about that.
Yes.
Yeah, this guy's a player,
Holden.
and he's going to hurt
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I agree, and I think she, well, she got hurt from Kyle with what he did with Audra, and the trust part was damaged, and I think Claire feels like I haven't really experienced love. I fell for Kyle right away, and I think she feels like maybe I'm missing out on something, and she wants to find out for herself because she feels like she's led such a sheltered life, and Kyle, he's been good to her, but he kind of betrayed her, and so. But picking
Wasn't
Holden,
honest
it's
with her
like,
for sure. Yeah.
right, he wasn't honest with her, but why are you picking Holden? Because he,
I
he
know.
he's playing the game with her. He's very nice and so understanding with her, and Claire's just eating that all up. He gets her and he understands her, and for him to say, "Come to Los Angeles with me," and when she finally said that's what she wanted to do, because you could tell she was even a little embarrassed to tell her mom, Victoria, and Nikki that she was, going to California. And oh, by the way, Holden just happens to be there too. And and Victoria is saying, well, Holden is a good-looking guy, and Nikki is saying, I've got some concerns, with him too. But so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But she did a very public breakup with Kyle, because Audra observed it, and and then Diane was made aware.
All right, I'm going to continue on here. We lost Luann. Uh, all right, let's move on. Uh, so Claire, as we mentioned, is going over. Uh, I think he's going to sell real estate. Um, Holden is going to, and she's going to be there, and he's going to continue to try to put the moves on her. I'm pretty sure. Um, all right. So Victoria. I want to talk a little bit about Victoria. She's has a renewed romance potentially coming here with back with Amelia Heinley is her name. She's the actress. Um, It'll be interesting to see what happens. So let's see where that goes. Adam and Chelsea's new reality as they face Kane's threat to the Newman Empire. Adam and Chelsea. Well, hi, Luann, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know
I just
what.
continued with the storyline because I figured you'd come back on.
I don't know what happened.
Probably signal loss, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I was just talking a little bit about Victoria, Luann.
Okay.
So Victoria could be headed for a renewed romance with Nate Hastings.
Yes.
That's what I just mentioned while you dropped off. Nate, what do you think of his new mustache, by the way?
It looks good on him.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it makes him have a different persona, kind
A
of.
little more like mature
Yes.
persona.
Yes, and he because I like the scenes between he and Victoria, and we'll see if that goes somewhere. I know in today's episode and yesterday's, Audra was trying to get his, to take her back, and I don't think he's quite ready for that yet. Because he said what you did to Kyle, what you did to Claire, what you've done to me. He said, you say you're sorry, but are you really? Audra kept saying, well, I've changed. You can see I've changed. It's like,
Yeah.
no, Audra, we can't tell that you've changed. And,
You
like,
say you have, but you've said things before.
Exactly. And, and like our one viewer, Martha says, Audra is a siren.
Yeah, I saw your exchange
Yes,
with her.
yes,
Thank you to her for
yeah, because
her
she,
suggestion. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, because I do have to make this comment because Audra, as she was confronting Kyle yesterday after he had broken up or Claire had broken up with him, and Audra was relishing the moment, where Claire kind of just told him, we're done. I don't want anything to do with you. I'm going to California and whatever. And Audra said, well, looks like you're all by yourself now. And he said, well, so are you. And she said, well, when we were at the chateau, I seduced you and you fell right into it. And she said, and I don't think you regretted it. I did have to draw you in too much. And she said, and now Claire has broken up with you. So she said, really? She said, Victor does owe me now for my part of the deal, because she said that was a deal she made with Victor. Remember? He said, if
It
you
actually
can,
worked in
it
the
actually,
end.
yeah, she said to Kyle, it actually worked. So she said, if you talk to Victor, tell him that his plan worked, and he owes me money now.
Right.
He owes me the deal.
Yeah.
But so I don't think Nate is ready to take her back yet. So I'm hoping that he and Victoria may find each other again, and it would be a good little romance going on the side, because Victoria now has moved on, and she needs, because Victoria hasn't been fully utilized in the last several months. There's been really no storylines pertaining to her, other than being the supportive mom for Claire. So
yeah, and since she lost her husband,
yes,
ex-husband, sorry,
right. But so I think that would be good. I think it would be good for her. Mm-hmm.
I like her character.
Yeah, I like Victoria.
I actually like it when Victoria tangles with Victor. That's always kind of fun.
Yeah, and he still wins in the end, but she will she knows her dad very well.
She's usually pretty accurate.
Yeah, she's pretty accurate.
All right, so let's move into other storylines. So
okay.
Tessa and Daniel investigate Mariah's past.
Yes, they're going to, I think, the hotel where the last spot where she was at, just to do some checking as to what are there any hints or any clues as to why Mariah is acting the way she is, what happened. And in next week's shows, it says something like that they found something, because Sharon said, did you find something? And she said, yes, we did. So it'll be interesting to see what they did find in there, when they went to that hotel.
Because we don't know anything, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they didn't show any of that, right?
No, they didn't show. They just said that we did find something. Sharon is talking with Tessa. She says, yes, we came upon something. So it'll be interesting to see what they came upon. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
Yeah, because, it's still with Mariah not telling anybody what's going on. And we've only had hints and clues of, scenes that they've shown bits and pieces of, right, that she's with this older guy, and we think she's killing him, but we don't know for sure,
Right.
And, yeah.
I'm kind of envisioning that the way this storyline will wrap up is that we'll get the full story of what actually happened.
Yes.
With Mariah and this older gentleman at the bar.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. You think she killed him?
That's what I'm thinking, because to be doing some of the drastic things that she is, and just really shutting out Tessa, because it's just very unusual for Mariah. Normally Mariah is very upfront and honest, with everything, and
right,
kind of like what you see is what you get. So I'm surprised that she's being very coy with this.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So the next one we actually already talked about, Audra, Charles.
Yes.
Let's move into Danny and Christine, because we haven't seen much of them off and on, but not a lot lately. But they're going to get married, Luann.
Yes. and they're
Are you
going to
happy?
get. Yes, I'm happy for them because I think they are one of the few couples that truly loves each other, and they were in love in the past, and they're characters that don't come on that much. So, in the background, we'll always see that they're happy, and when they come back to visit, it'll look good for the two of them. And they're going to be showing that in November sweeps. And so they're already talking about, they're going to be bringing back some of the characters like Nina, who is Cricket's good friend, Nina, and she's Chance's mother. She'll be coming for the wedding, and so will Gina, Danny Romalotti's sister. She used to manage the Genoa City Athletic Club.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yes,
She was a
yes.
singer, blonde.
Yes, she was the singer. So she'll be back. So it'll be great. They'll I guess for
She
that.
had a restaurant named Gina's.
Gina's, that's right. Yes, so they'll be bringing her, them back, and maybe some of the other characters for this wedding. So that'll be a big hoopla and something to look forward to. Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think Danny and Christine will get married, or maybe even at the altar. I think, because I read a little bit about something about Doug Davidson, who's Paul Davis.
Oh, yes.
Or Paul Williams.
Yes.
Who used to be married to Christine back in the day.
Right.
I had heard rumor that they were bringing him back. So
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that would be a wonderful, nice surprise because
I liked him on that show.
Yeah.
I think his character added a lot. I was kind of pissed off a little, or not happy when they didn't renew his contract. Yeah.
Yes.
I liked his character a lot.
Me too. And I don't know why the Bells have just really excluded him from everything. Like when they did their 50th anniversary shows last year. Something happened, and some sour grapes there somewhere on either side. But it's like, okay, you've brought all the characters back except him, and the viewing public and his fans have been reaching out, like, bring him back. Yeah. So that would be great, and and maybe he'll come back and say, hey, our divorce really isn't final.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That would be good.
But no, if you read that, that's a great surprise. But I thought it'll be nice to see some of the characters, and weddings are a happy occasion, but I'm sure there'll be some little thorns in there that might happen, and I'm sure our friend Phyllis will show her other side there too.
Yeah, right.
Because she doesn't like Cricket, so
not at all.
No, so she'll do anything she can to get under Cricket's skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Michael. Let's talk a little bit about Michael.
Yeah,
I liked it. I always liked Michael's character.
I do too.
He's a good actor,
Mm-hmm.
and I like his lawyer. It's a little shady. He's always kind of lives on the edge.
He walks a fine line.
Yeah, he does, and so. We'll see what happens, but I like that. I like the him and Victor storyline. That's pretty good.
Yes, and Lauren was very concerned this week with him.
Were you surprised by that? She's kind of almost giving him an ultimatum.
She did, and I think she just saw what it's done to them and to Michael when he was, Victor's kind of henchman there. That he was at every bid and call of Victor, and she didn't like that. And Victor would kind of screw him over sometimes, Michael, and because
put him in some really shitty positions.
Exactly. And then when he said no, he was going to go help Kane against Victor. That concerned Lauren even more, and she's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And so now Michael is, he approached both Jack and Victor and said, I'm not working with Kane anymore. He told me the deal is off, because I think Kane wanted to utilize Michael in a different way too. And he knew that Michael could not follow through what he would want him to do. And that Michael does have a conscience. And I think he loves Lauren, so he would never do anything against her. That would anger her some more. So,
and he does have a weird loyalty to Victor.
Yeah, and he does have a loyalty to Victor. And in the end here, I think he will help Jack and Victor with some of this too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go into the last question for you, Luann. What would Luann do with the current storyline on The Young and Restless?
Okay, well, with which storyline, I guess?
Well, let's start out with the Victor story.
Yeah, with Victor and Kane and all them.
Yeah.
I think my storyline would be that Victor will somehow come. He is still going to want to break, like you said, Jack down. So I think he's going to still want to side with Kane somehow and work it out through Jill. But Jill would never let that happen to Jack either. But somehow Kane and Victor will join up and still come after Jack Abbott and Billy. I still think he will, because he still wants to bring them down. That's still his ultimate goal.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So
all right. How about the Mariah situation? What would you do with that?
I think for that one, what would make it kind of interesting is if this guy, if she killed him, if he has some connections somehow to that, the other guy, that the bad guy. I can't remember his name. The crazy guy.
Yeah. Because I like that character.
Yeah. And bring him back somehow. And there's a connection there because
he's dead, Luann.
I don't think he is.
He's one of those 12 lives they have on soap operas.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that he's I think what I would do is that she killed him. He knew some information, or because I don't think she could protect her own self, because he looked like an old guy that she could take care of herself with him. But if he knew something or he had some information and it pertains to that other man somehow, that other guy that who married her.
Yeah.
Yes, so somewhere I think he will come, into the picture again somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah. And the other thing, I think with the Claire and Holden, I think something will happen out in California when she's there. That she and Holden will hook up, and somehow, because Victoria asked Nick to check in on Claire. And that was before she kind of knew that Holden was going to be there. So I think something is going to go down in California.
Wow.
While Claire is there with Holden, and Nick and Sharon will also be there. So will their worlds collide together somehow? And all of a sudden Claire has some explaining to do why she's with Holden.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah. And there's something else that will come up, because they're talking that around October 14th, so in 2 weeks, there's a new character that's going to be coming. And she owns a club in Hollywood, which would all bring this together, because they're all going to California, to that Hollywood area. And her name is Sienna Bacall. And this actress, Tamara Brown, has been on other shows like... let's see, what other shows was she on? My notes. All My Children and General Hospital and Days of Our Lives. So she's a character that they're bringing in that has ties to several of the people in Genoa City. So it'll be interesting who she has ties with. And rumor is that she was maybe involved with Holden and Audra in the past. Mm-hmm. So this might all come to a head. Yeah, it might all come to a head there when Claire and Holden are there, and Sharon and Nick.
Wow.
So
that's a lot, Luann.
Yeah, I know. So in the next couple of weeks, we got lots of action happening, and then we've got that big wedding coming up in November. We'll all stay riveted to our Young and the Restless.
We will.
Yes.
All right. Anything to close with?
No, that was a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. Until we dish again, Keep it sudsy.
Oh, yes.
And we're out.